I told you guys one day I'm gonna coming here with my belt. Emotion, of course, I'm so happy because for that moment I training all my life and just so happy, you know.
I've been saying all week, you got two of the absolute best in the world in their prime facing off, and you know, when I went up into the octagon after, Khabib said, I told you he's the best in the world. And yeah, I mean, to beat Oliveira is one thing, to beat him the way he beat him is another, and as fast as he did it, he looked incredible tonight. You know, the big question going in tonight was how was he going to deal with the pressure? He dealt with it just fine.
I have new target. I have to be #1 pound for pound champion. That's why I have to go to the Australia and beat this guy.
How long do I think he can take this reign? I don't know. That remains to be seen. You know, obviously, looks like Volkanovski's next. So, you know, Volkanovski never ceases to amaze me. Another incredible fight.
Did you know he was going to call out Volkanovski?
I did not. I did not, no.
So that...
When I was up there, Khabib said to me, we're going to fight all the time and we want to fight everybody. That's what he said to me, you know, after the fight.
So is it safe to say that's going to be the main event for the Perth card?
Probably. I don't know. We'll see.
So your team captain, DC, finished during his career. He became double champ at some point. That was something very special about his career. Khabib Nurmagomedov retired undefeated. That was something very special about his career. How do you think you're going to make your career special in compared to those greats from your team that came before you?
I don't think about retired right now. I have to be #1 pound for pound champion. After that moment, we'll see. We're gonna think about this, but right now, I have to defend this belt many times.
How does it feel bringing the belt back to AKA Gym, and what does this mean to you, Coach Javier, Khabib, and the whole team?
Couple years we don't have belt in AKA, and in the AKA we have their wall, and we have all champions pictures, but we don't have for new champions some space. Now we have to take some pictures. Coach, who we gonna take from the wall? No. Maybe DC or Khabib or Luke Rockhold will have to take this picture.
Okay.
You know, there's not much to say. He basically just got to do what he was. Today he was better than I was. He was able to do things, and when I wasn't, and he was able to actually, you know, get his game going, which was basically, you know, put me down and work that. And I mean, there's nothing much to say.
The guy's incredible. I mean, up until that fight just happened, you know, he was the best in the world in that weight class. So we'll see what's next.
You know, I really don't know what I would choose or to actually have to happen, because at the end of the day, you never know exactly what the promotion is going to choose. I mean, they change minds all the time, so who am I to say something like that? The truth of the matter is that Charles Oliveira is still the #1 contender in the division. So what we're going to do is go back home, see my family, talk to my managers, assess the matters, maybe butt heads a little bit with the UFC. I've always done everything the UFC has always wanted from me. I've always fought other people's homes. So basically, we're just going to wait a little bit, and there's nothing much for us to actually choose. We're going to be home and negotiating from there.
I thought, you know, I was leaning towards Islam. I thought maybe he would get in, like, you know, 3-4 rounds, maybe get a submission. He was landing on the feet, which sort of surprised me a little bit, but at the same time, you know, Charles, again, I've got a lot of respect for Charles, but, you know, he's a very exciting fighter because obviously he can get hit and he likes to hit people. This time he got hit and then got down, and usually people don't want to follow that up, right? Islam did, and then got the finish, but, you know, so credit to him.
And obviously he went right out and said, I want to fight you next in Perth. Did you know he was going to say something like that? Or even Khabib was in there saying he wants to bring him down there?
Yeah, no, I did not know that. But, I mean, you know, I think it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm doing this type of stuff. That's why you're seeing me here and putting a lot on the line, you know, just, you know, committing to some big things that a lot of people wouldn't do, just to put me in a position where, again, no one can take an opportunity away from me. That's just how I've always been, how I always will be. And, now I get to, reap the benefits. I want to get that champ and put myself in a position where, everyone wants to see it now, and even the guy holding that belt wants to see it. So it's incredible. It's what we wanted.
I tore my shoulder and I had 5 professional fights, and I went 5-0. So I understand the pain that he definitely had to deal with going through that, but he had the 2 shoulder surgeries during his suspension. I took him down. His shoulders were in the socket before the takedown. They were in the socket before the round ended, as far as I'm concerned. I full mounted him. I rolled his arms up. I flattened him out. I like to think that I'm the one that caused that to come out of the socket again. So he can say whatever he wants, but I don't think, socket or not, that fight wasn't going to get any better for him, honestly.
Were you aware that TJ Dillashaw had that shoulder injury leading up to the fight?
I had no idea. That's a problem. Yeah.
How do you think the Athletic Commission could have missed that? Because he said it had been dislocating a lot throughout training camp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could the Athletic Commission know if he doesn't tell us? You know what I mean? You got to tell everybody. You got to tell us. I mean, he looked good. He was in great shape. It's not like he came in out of shape. He looked like he was injured or whatever. But yeah, that's something that he should have told us.
I think he's still one of the greatest bantamweights. I don't think he's the greatest of all time, but I think he could make the conversation and he would be in that discussion. So for me to get a guy like that out of there, I think it speaks volumes on where I'm at and my skill set. I'm honestly just getting better, man. I'm getting better, giving me more time to get comfortable with the striking. And every time I say I'm going to come out here and strike, the legs are just right there and I end up just taking it. It's really just instinctual. I see an opening, a guy starts to overcommit, and just like a piece of candy, and then I just take it.
It's kind of a blur, to be honest. You know, he caught me some good shots. Peter, tough dude, man. It's a tough Russian right there. So I'd like to really watch it back before I could, dissect it.
Did you think he won the fight? Some people are saying Peter Yan should have got the decision, but did you think O'Malley won? How did you score it?
It was one of those razor-thin, close fights. I could see people saying Yan won the fight. I could see people saying O'Malley won the fight. It's all. What's weird is it wasn't the way I thought it was with the judges' scorecards. I thought, depending on who you gave the first round to, determined who won the fight. But that was not the case, apparently.
Leading up to the fight, Dana White said this could be your McGregor-Aldo moment. You did win the fight, but do you think that was your Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo moment, or we still have to wait for that one?
I mean, what's considered a Conor Aldo moment? Do I got to knock someone out in 13 seconds? Because that's going to be hard to do. But as far as, like, blowing up, I think, I don't know. We'll have to see the next couple weeks. I'm sure my brand deals and I would almost guarantee I'm going to go sit down and renegotiate my contract after that. So, we'll see. I think it could be.
There was an instant cage side with Khamzat Chimaev. I don't know if you've heard about that, and if you have, what can you tell us about it?
The guy, boy, I mean, what do I even say about that? It happens, and especially with him. It happens. Mean things are said. Sometimes guys get into it. It's our job here at the UFC to make sure that stuff doesn't happen. Again, we weren't right on it and didn't stop it from happening, but we got in there. Just these things happen. When you get, we have 800 alpha male and females under contract, and sometimes they cross paths at events, and these things happen. It doesn't bother me or hurt my feelings or any of that stuff. We handle it and then we move on.